Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. Okay, I've been gone. It's been 2 years. We're gonna skip over that. We're gonna just pretend like I started off from the last video that I did. I think it was like a Gossip Girl video or something like that. And we're just gonna pretend like those 2 years didn't pass. Okay. Anyways, I came on because I started watching Scandal again. I rewatched the whole show. I watched it a few years back and I was like, you know what, I have to make a video because I used to talk to one of my coworkers about it all the time. And just rewatching the show made me revisit a lot of the emotions I felt while watching the show. Now I'm gonna break this video down into like three sections: character analysis, then I want to do like a analysis of each season, and then just like random opinions that I have, certain plots and certain things that happened in the show that were just either ridiculous or amazing. So we're gonna get into it. If you guys never watched Scandal, which I feel like you should, it follows politicians in DC. The main character is Kerry Washington, and she runs her own like crisis management firm with a bunch of lawyers. We have Olivia, Melly, Cyrus, Fitz, Jake, Rowan, David, Abby, Huck, and Quinn. Now, starting off with Olivia, Olivia is one of those characters where I'm not gonna say I dislike her because I have a bad habit when it comes to main characters really having this burning rage and annoyance for them. I don't know what it is. It even happens when I'm reading books. I mostly despise the main character. However, with this show, I don't really have that experience. Olivia is one of those people where obviously her character is supposed to be very stubborn, dedicated, a little bit vindictive. But I'm not gonna lie, I really did like Olivia because I wouldn't say they changed her character necessarily, but they did do a lot of ups and downs. Sometimes I was kind of surprised. I was never surprised when she went back to Fitz because that was always going to happen, but we're going to get into that. Olivia, I don't really have much to say about her. Like, she's the main character, she's constantly getting into stuff, but she is very smart and she knows her way around the political circle and in DC, and has a lot of connection. So I can understand why living in that world could make her kind of the vindictive person that they made her out to be, especially in season 7. Lots of good build up to her like evil lip. Well, next is Melly. Melly, I want to say, okay, would I say she's my favorite character? Melly is just amazing. She worked hard to get where she's at, but still has to be in the shadow of a man. Wow. Felt so bad for her. Like, she sacrificed so much just for this man child to be in office. Listen, we're gonna talk about Fitz soon, but Melly, I don't know how she survived that long with Fitz. I'm just gonna tell you that. I don't know how she survived that long with him.
She's the strings that, if need be, I will pull to make my puppet husband dance.
I give props to her. She had her own career and she gave all of that up so that the op can go into office and then cheat on her. She's just great. One of my favorite characters. Okay, next, Cyrus. Evil, but evil genius. One of the most entertaining characters out of the whole series. Literally, he had me cackling.
You want to know if the president wore condoms when he slept around. Did he wear one with you?
Cyrus used to have me weak. I'm not even lying. Like, Cyrus used there were some scenes where I couldn't even take it seriously. Like, I know he's supposed to be evil, that's his character, he's the villain of the show. Shonda Rhimes, she knows how to do villains. And Cyrus is such a complex character. I'm not gonna lie, he's a little bit of a genius. I enjoyed a lot of the little schemes, not the murder. In terms of character, Cyrus always kept me on my toes. If they got rid of him, the show would have went downhill. Okay, Fitzgerald Grant, the crybaby, the man child himself, Fitzgerald Grant the third, Fitz, President of the United States of America, 2 terms.
Fitzgerald.
Stunted, whiny, crybaby. The only successful thing that he did in his career was take down that plane. Any time that he had to do something presidential, there was an issue. Whether his moral compass was getting in the way, listen, you're the president of the United States, you need to make hard decisions. And he was not good at making any hard decisions. I'm telling you, every single time this man was in the Oval with an actual issue, every time this man had an important decision to make, he would spend 2.5 seconds thinking about it. And then after those 2.5 seconds, he'd have a complete meltdown of how he doesn't think he should be president. Why are you here, sir? Then why are we trying so hard? Fitzgerald Grant is literally the embodiment of a man child.
And if we don't?
Try me.
How old is this man? Like 50 something years old? All the privilege in the world? And he was constantly complaining about it too, talking about how stuff was handed to him. Oh my God, we never heard. We're gonna get to Defiance later on. Jake. Jake deserved better than how Olivia treated him.
We both know in the end, you're not going to choose me. And that's okay.
I'm not gonna lie, he is not a good guy. But when comparing him and Fitz, Jake got things done. When a job needed to be done, Jake handled it.
I decide if America endures. This is not a game, Mr. President. And you're not getting your ball back.
Rowan, boom, Olivia's dad. I like what Rowan brought to the show. Kind of reflected on why Olivia had a lot of the traits that she did.
Do you have to be so mediocre?
Imagine growing up with a father like that, a leader of B613, creator of B613, founder of B613, which honestly, he was always talking about it every other season. Like, okay, Rowan, we get it. Everybody did something that by the end of the show, I'm like, okay, nobody's innocent. Everyone has blood on their hands. So at this point, all morals are thrown out the window. Next, David. David, to me, was the most annoying character from season one. Okay, I understand like where he started off from. He wasn't that deep into the political circle and to the corruption, but as he started rising up, especially after he became attorney general, and Jake literally shot James in front of him, and we're here in season 4 and he's talking about justice, not fair, repercussions, the system pay. This is not a fair system, David, and I'm so sorry, but you're clearly not good at your job if you are not even realizing this. After 10 murders and 4 seasons later, you're still talking about justice, expecting everything to be right, doing the right thing. Literally, David was the most annoying character. We're not even going to talk about him in relationships. Listen, okay, him and Abby, I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. I preferred Abby with Leo. David with Susan Ross. How dare you? That's all I have to say. I'm like, sir, you were in the room with a bunch of murders. You have covered up. You have been complicit in so many things, but you still want to sit up on your high horse and judge everyone and talk about being of the law. David, there is no law. There is no law. This is the Wild West. Do you see where we are? Next, we're gonna go into Abby. One thing is that she was kind of just like blah in the first few seasons. Okay, good friend of Liv, whatever. Liv saved her like she did with everybody else. But when she got into the White House, she started getting on my nerves with that competitiveness. Like, I understand she wanted to be in that world and she looked up to Liv. It really felt like a one-sided beat. They try to make it seem like the conflict between her and Olivia was like coming from both sides, but I never felt that energy from Olivia's side because Olivia already knew that she was that girl. The whole world knew that she was that girl. And Abby was trying so hard to get out of Olivia's shadow that the whole season after Olivia was in the White House and then Abby moved in and became press secretary, it annoyed me. Abby was getting on my nerves. There were so many times where I just wanted to grab her through the screen and slap her like, girl, you are not Olivia, calm down. Huck. Literally on my notes, it just says, messed up by B613. Huck is just Huck. Let's go to Quinn. Quinn annoyed the hell out of me throughout the whole show. From the first episode when she had that introduction her and Harrison went out and he was like inviting her to join the team. I don't know why, she just annoyed me so much. Not only was she was trying too hard to be hard. Like, you know what I mean? That whole season where she wanted to be B613, I'm not like other girls. A lot of it just felt, I got secondhand embarrassment. Like, I was literally cringing from the screen. We're not even going to talk about her and Huck's relationship. I kind of blocked that out of my memory. Like, if I could just enter a part of my brain that stored that memory of Huck and Quinn's romantic relationship and just squirt bleach into it to help me forget that that ever happened, I would, because that was so unnecessary. And every time they had like a romantic situation, whatever, romantic encounter on the screen, like I literally skip because nobody needs to see that. It was so forced. It didn't even make any sense. Chemistry 0%. So anyways, we're gonna talk about the season breakdown. There's 7 seasons in the show. Season 1, Amanda Tanner. That whole season was basically building up the characters. We got to know a little bit about Olivia and Fitz's past relationship, how they started their affair. And I'm not gonna lie, okay, I do not like Fitz, but Kerry Washington and his name is Tony Goldwyn, I completely forgot. Very good chemistry. Chemistry 10 out of 10. Honestly, good job picking the actors, because even though I didn't like Fit, some of the scenes had me on the edge of my seat. I was like,
Okay, just stop
Kiss
it.
me.
What?
Kiss me.
Let's just go.
Look at me.
it's getting hot in here. Season 1 was just whatever. It was just the intro season. It was pretty good, but nothing to write home about. Season 2 is where it all started going down. So I know I said that Quinn was the most annoying character out of all the characters, but season 2, I did like her backstory and how we find out like why Olivia saved her. Olivia had a reason to save every single person. And honestly, throughout the seasons, everybody was talking about how much they owed to Olivia. But if you really think about it, a lot of the everybody that Olivia helped, it kind of circled back to her. It was out of her own selfish needs or to cover up something. Other than Abby. Abby was a genuine friend that she tried to help out. But anyway, season 2, a lot of stuff happened. So the Citron thing that had to do with like the election rigging and defiance, which when we find out that like Olivia, Melly, Cyrus, Reina, and Hollis, we find out that they rigged the election and defiance so that Fitz could win the presidential election. And this is not the first time out of a million times that we're going to hear about this throughout the entire show. I'm telling you, they mentioned defiance every other episode, and literally it was getting on my nerves. Fitz gets shot. Melly exposes the affair. I think she knew what she was doing by not mentioning Olivia's name. And they also talked about it in the show. Like, she didn't mention Olivia's name because she knew it would backfire on her. Political genius. Honestly, can we talk about it? Like, Melly was always one step ahead when it came to the optics, which is very important in politics. Like, while her husband was just doing every other thing, complaining about his presidency every 5 seconds. And then also we find out about Huck's past, traumatizing. We get introduced to Rowan's father a little bit, and Jake. Jake comes in. Jake. Season 3, the re-election, like Cyrus setting up his husband to sleep with Sally's husband. It was a lot. Sally killing her husband. There was so much that happened in season 3. Like Harrison randomly dying. Honestly, Harrison's death was out of nowhere. And it didn't really make a difference to the show. I'm sorry. It really didn't make a difference to the show. It's like he died, and then after that, it was like Harrison, who I'm so sorry. I don't know how I forgot about this. Fitz winning the re-election because his son died. What the hell? First of all, he treated Melly like complete garbage, even though he knew that I understand they were both grieving his son, but the fact that he was making fun of her for lounging around the White House and not doing her job after their son died, and she was going through a grieving period, even though he seemed like he was grieving the loss of his mistress more than the loss of his son. How dare you, Fitzgerald Grant the Third? How dare you? When he read Melly,
This is not your family. You are not the mother, not since Jerry died.
and who are you talking to, Fitzgerald Grant? That season had me so upset. That had me so upset because I understand that it's his son too. He was going through grief, but the thing is, he was trying to play this game of who's grieving more. Also, trying to make it seem like now he cares about appearances. Now he cares about optics. Oh look, Melly it got caught, and the Melly got caught in the graveside of her son eating chips. Like, wow, Fitz, did that really do a damage to your presidency more than your how many two affairs that you had on your wife, going to war for your mistress? How many things has Fitz done to damage the presidency? But he's going after Melly for not wanting to dress up and do interviews and smile for the cameras after the death of her son. Also, to find out that Rowan was behind the death of his son. Wow. Not really surprising. You know, I can understand at that point how maybe Fitz was a little bit resentful of him winning the re-election, like of his presidency. But it's like, you're here, you're in charge of the country, do your job. And then Olivia runs away with Jake. One of the best decisions she ever made. Season 4, Olivia comes back to DC and Huck reunites with his family. Terrible idea. The one thing that really got on my nerves was they were trying to build this whole fantasy, like Huck reuniting with his family was gonna happen and he was just gonna have a happily ever after. From the beginning, I was like, this is doomed. This is not gonna happen. It's doomed. Like, from day one. First of all, I understand his wife was upset, and she did lose her husband, and her son lost the father. But at the same time, like, he's explaining everything that happened to happened to him, and how he's a part of this secret like government, and the first thing she wants to do is go to the authorities. That doesn't sound safe. Every time they brought up exposing B613, like, I'm just like, this is gonna go wrong. This is gonna go wrong. And obviously it was, because James gets shot by Jake. R.I.P. James. James deserved so much better. Season 5, Olivia as Fitz's girlfriend in the White House. Terrible. It was giving House Madam, shackles, trapped prisoner. Oh my god. Also, this is when he has to get a new vice president. I remember. Okay, so Andrew Nichols is introduced as Fitz's new vice president. One thing that I will say, Melly, oh my god, all throughout this show, Melly deserves so much better. First of all, Andrew chose the vice presidency over Melly. And I feel like for her, a woman who was so focused on putting her career first over her love life, obviously, she was ready to do the opposite. Wait, oh my god, I don't know how I skipped over this in season 4. Olivia gets kidnapped. I was on the edge of my seat. To find out it was Andrew all along, I'm not even kidding. Like, there are a few things that surprised me, but that was the one thing that I didn't expect coming. Every time Jake and Fitz got in an argument, Jake ate him up. Points were made, and Fitz was sat there looking stupid. We're gonna go back to season 5. For Andrew, Olivia in the White House, whatever, Jake is announced as NSA, gets married. Oh, wait, hold on, no. Because season 5, okay, wait, hold on. Yeah, so they're trying to get ready because Fitz is getting out of the office finally. Goodbye, sir. Frankie versus Melly. Listen, this is when I was on the edge of my seat. Cyrus is very good at picking out presidents. I'm telling you, evil genius. Like, his plans were always meticulously thought out, and respect. Not respect, but he was very intelligent. So Frankie gets shot. Wow, crazy. Cyrus goes to jail. And then we're painting Cyrus as a victim to find out that Luna was behind everything. And not only was Luna behind everything, but Cyrus was behind everything. Also, season 6 is when we're introduced as to the white people villains. Payas. Honestly, worst villains ever. Complete letdown. I didn't understand how they had so much power over Rowan. Like they were threatening Olivia, but who was it besides who was a part of that group besides the blonde woman and the bald man? Did they even ever expand on who else was behind? Like, because when I first watched that, I'm thinking, okay, maybe this is a whole separate entity, like B613. Like it's B613 is a secret government, whatever, right? So I'm like, okay, maybe this is like a white B6, maybe this is B613 ran by white people, and they're like, ha ha ha, Rowan, you would have thought we're in charge. To find out that they were run by Luna, honestly, it was such a big letdown because they were built up to be this infamous, scary villain. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I was really interested. I wanted to know, like, why do these people have so much power? Oh my gosh, they built it up to where we, the audience, are supposed to be so afraid just to find out it was Luna. But I did enjoy this season. Also, I didn't really talk about Olivia's mom in this video. Do I really have thoughts on Olivia's mom? Her whole family is just messed up. Well, she's the one that was hired by Luna to shoot Melly. Season 7, Melly is president, Olivia chief of staff, and head of B613, period. When I was watching that, like in the beginning, I was so happy. I was so happy for Melly. Girl boss. I loved season 7. After Fitz left the White House, I felt a breath of fresh air, and it was just great to see Melly actually taking charge and being interested in the country's affairs, something that Fitz was never interested in doing. Evil Olivia also loved it. Loved it because I felt like all throughout these seasons she was painted as the person who saves everyone, but no one is able to save her. So I'm just glad that she got pulled back by her friends. Also, her and Jake. I don't know why they do this thing in TV shows and movies where they'll have a love triangle, right? So, an example, Olivia, Fitz, and Jake. It'll be a love triangle, but it's so obvious that she's going to choose one over the other, even though technically she didn't choose Fitz. But him getting out of the car, smiling, and them saying, hi, hi. Basically, Shonda Rhimes was trying to tell me that they end up together. Okay, so I don't know why they always do this. Okay, they always go for the first guy. The girl always ends up going and getting together with the first guy. Most of the times, I'm not even gonna lie, I'm team first guy. But Jake, I just really like Jake, okay? Like, I just really like Jake and Olivia together. But anyways, Jake is command. Olivia tries to take over, backstab Liv, tricks Melly, goes against Olivia, blah blah blah. Olivia, blah, blah, blah. Cyrus is evil, part 3000. Like Cyrus does the a millionth evil thing. What a surprise. B613 is exposed and Cyrus kills David. Cyrus killing David was one thing that I wasn't expecting. I really didn't like David, but like, damn, that was a bad way to go. I felt so bad for Abby. She had that love, that deep love, which I don't understand for David. I do like how the end wrapped up with Olivia leaving the White House. It seemed like a good thing to do. Melly having her true love ending with Marcus. Love to see it. Yeah, Quinn and Charlie actually like them as a couple. Good for Quinn. Couldn't stand her, but good for her. These are a few things that stuck out to me. Like I said, anytime Huck and Quinn were on the screen, disgusting, gross, wanted to throw my popcorn at the screen, wanted to throw my phone out of the window and onto oncoming traffic. Harrison's death, Every time Fitz brings up Defiance, they have a episode in season 6 where it's reimagined, like what if they never rigged the election? And honestly, throughout the whole episode, I'm just like, are we ever gonna get over Defiance? I feel like I can make a whole drinking game based off of how many times they mentioned Defiance. But also her and Jake, although it was less of like a love and more of like a lust sort of situation, he really did love her, and I feel like she was just leading him on throughout the whole show. Like she knew, and he knew that she was never gonna love him as much as Fitz. But it was just a whole setup from the beginning. And then Jake going to jail. I understand. Okay, he did kill his wife, and he did do a lot of terrible things. So in the end, did he deserve to go to jail? Yeah, kind of. He did try to take Olivia down, and it did make sense that he would be the fall guy when B613 got exposed. So watching it, rewatching the show a second time, I feel like I was less upset Jake going to jail. I remember the first time I saw Scandal, I was actually very depressed. I was so sad. Like, wow, he's gonna spend the rest of his life, his fake life, fake ass characters, the rest of his life in prison. That was my thoughts on Scandal. Honestly, I really love this show. I want to do one on How to Get Away with Murder because that's another one. Thank you guys so much for watching my video. I want you to tell me some of your unpopular opinions and just opinions in general that you have. So let me know down in the comments below. Were you Team Jake? Were you Team Fitz? Not gonna judge. Maybe a little. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.